I would like to express my firm stance on political correctness. From what I'm seeing and what I have seen throughout the years, what we have in this society known as political correctness is really not political correctness. It's just being called overly sensitive. That's really what it was, and that's what it is now. And the reason why I say this, I just read an article from the Huffington Post, which displays the stupidity of so-called political correctness. And it was about Kevin Hart, and supposedly he was supposed to, be the host of the music awards or Academy Awards or whatever. And they told him to apologize for something he had joked about years ago, which was offensive to the LGBT community. And he had addressed it, and he apologized for it. And he says that he's not apologizing for anything. And the Huffington Post slandered him in saying that this is the kind of guy that doesn't apologize and is very disrespectful and is anti-LGBT. And they slandered him and demonized him so much that they made it seem like he was the next Hitler. So, you see, Huffington Post is known for being liberal, which is another reason why I never liked Huffington Post to begin with. And I could say the same thing with a lot of other sources like InfoWars. But when it comes down to it, uh, this comes to show you how political correctness, which is just called oversensitivity, is just, too rampant. And they expect you to apologize for everything. And they use what you've said in the past against you as if this is who you are in the present. And they even went as far as to say that he truly hasn't changed all that much from who he was as a younger person to who he is now, despite the fact that he's a 40-year-old man. So this comes to show you that political correctness is not called political correctness. It's just conditioning people to be overly sensitive and weak and too weak-minded to accept any part of reality, and they just expect you to believe, and this is just a means of manipulating you. This is just a method of mind control is what it is. They're telling you how to think, and they're telling you what you should feel, and they're telling you who to tolerate and who you don't tolerate, and who you should not tolerate. Because the way I see it, I'm going to be judgmental of whoever I want to be judgmental of. I mean, if I'm gonna judge someone negatively, nobody's gonna do a damn thing about it. Because the way I say it, it's just a little foolish to me how anybody can say this. And you know, I mean, if someone used racial slurs like to throw a quote or to read it from a textbook, they're gonna say, "Oh, that's wrong." Like, that's, everybody gets everyone gets slammed for some type of controversy nowadays. I mean, everybody is like, labeled as an anti-LGBT, anti-gay, anti-black, anti-this. Everyone is labeled with anti-everything nowadays. So, nowadays people have actually asked me, like, who are you to judge if a brother is in love with his sister and he wants to have sexual intercourse with her? Don't give me this political correctness bullcrap, and don't tell me not to judge people even if they happen to be a couple who are in an incestuous relationship. If I mean, I've heard people. I've had someone ask me, "Who are you to judge?" and say that. I told them, I'm a, I told them I'm a person with common sense who knows the difference between right and wrong, and that's why I have the right to judge. So I hate how people think that being politically correct is the right thing to do when all it's really doing is hindering you from expressing your opinions and expressing your thoughts, which is just an excuse to hinder freedom of speech, in my opinion. So don't talk to me about political correctness, because this is not called political correctness. It's called complete oversensitivity. That's all that it was. That's all it will ever be. I mean, this is something I hear from liberals a lot. Like, I hear that they're the ones known for being overly sensitive or politically correct. But I don't see how conservatives are any different. But if you ask me, Americans have always been politically correct. Political correctness has never went away in America. That has always been the case. Americans have always been overly sensitive people. Anything about their country, even if you make harsh jokes about it, they take it seriously. So I don't really see, we get offended too easily. That's always been the case. That has never changed for the past 30 years, even until now. So no, so do I believe in political correctness? No, this is not, you can't even call this political correctness. It's just being oversensitive. And it's just another form of censorship, and I'm not gonna apologize for saying that. If I said something that was controversial and if I was a famous person, I would not apologize for it. That's the bottom line. So, what do you guys think? Please let me know down below.